Best thing on this damn earth. Well, it's been a while. Kind of has. It's been maybe more than a week or two, maybe even 3. Not exactly sure because, so much time has passed. So, where do I begin? As some of you already know, I say that most likely in my beginnings, or some of you who do not know, I made a statement saying that I was going to see if I could gather footage from what I like to call my hometown in Little Elm, Texas. I was able to capture some, but this wasn't quite the way I planned it. For more better reasons, or better purposes. So I guess I need to start from square one, or at least start from the beginning. So, as I said before, I was flying out because I had things that I wanted to do, and believe me, I got them done. So this is where I'll start. Flying out all the way back to Texas, it was about a 2-hour and 11-minute flight. As soon as when I got there, I ran into some people that I knew, and I was happy that I was back home. And upon returning home during the nighttime, I seen how Little Elm, Texas changed so much. And this was the very first day after landing, going straight back to where it was over 3 to 4 years ago since I left. When I went for Arkansas and then went for Las Vegas. 3 to 4 years have passed, and seeing how much Little Elm has changed, it's good to be home at the same time, but also at the same time, it's sad and it really emotionally hurts to see how much that you leave behind, so much changes. As an example, though, and not all change is bad. I've learned to accept that. Not all change in life is bad. For example, when I looked back on the beach, right on the lake, when I came back, I was astonished. I was surprised. I mean, that was pretty cool. Where there used to be a certain type of gas station that I looked at that I used to go to all the time before going to school. It's a barbecue joint, but it's pretty good. There's an extra gas station now and then. A little disappointed that they're expanding the road 6 lanes now in certain areas, but I guess one thing that did really kind of disappoint me was that the fact when I was driven by, I realized that the old Little Elm Park, it was a historical park. It was relocated all the way to a place over by the other end of Main Street. It is now a wakeboard place right by the lake. Disappointed, yes, but gotta remember, places are going to change whether you're there or not. It's going to happen with or without you. But also, upon returning, the very minute I get to the place where I'm going to be bunking in for, certain type of days, because I was going to be going places. But why stop at just bunking in that very night where you can still go out and do what you can do, since you couldn't do things until you reached a certain age? I mean, hell, I'm 22, I'm an adult, I can go out and do stuff now. So upon doing this, I decided to go roaming around in my old neighborhood during the night, a little bit past 10 to 11ish. Roaming around the dark areas in your own old neighborhood and realize how so much feels emotional to feel. At first, it all felt empty. Like it was all darkness, like almost without lights. Except for the areas that had lights around it, but it was weird to go right up that street, look at the house that I used to live in, walk all the way up into the cul-de-sac area, and look back, and I could visualize every memory I had. And upon that, I end up breaking down in tears. And that's the kind of thing I wanted to feel, because it showed as a fact that I still cared. It was not like any other place I've been to before. Not like Georgia, not like Arkansas, not like Las Vegas, South Dakota, Nebraska, anywhere else that I've been. It's where I wanted to be. And I didn't just stop there. I went over to the high school, looked back on so much that I've done there. And so we fast forward a bit, getting through the first day in the day tonight, I get to catch up with a lot of friends I haven't seen in a long time, 3 to 4 years. One of the negative things, though, when I ended up deciding to drink a few beers and 9 shots of tequila, rest assured I'm probably a weak stomach kind of guy. I go from a super partying mood of feeling, I fucking loved every one of you guys in a fucking drunk manner to more downright depressed because I felt like I left it all behind, and then I felt so shattered and broken. And apart from being drunk, I remember, from what I recall, my good old buddy who drove me all the way back to where I was bunking in hands me 2 bottles of water because he was worried about me. He didn't want me to get hurt or anything. So, but he dropped me off there. But I decided that I wanted to keep going because I was drunk. I was laughing, but at the same time I was crying as well because holding a water bottle going down the road, like you can't figure out what's going on. You're just wobbling all over the place, laughing and crying at the same time. But not like in the laughing area, like you're laughing so hard you're crying. I mean like laughing, but also in the depressed way that you're crying, being like, oh man, I'm so fucking bad. That's how I was. But as it also turns out, that very night, a few days ago, I could have died. I could have died from, how do you call that, alcohol poisoning. Because I didn't have anything much in my system that day too. So I could have died. But the positive sides to a lot, and I got a lot more than what I was asking for when I came out on this trip. I got to catch up with people. I got to go down memory lane. I got to recall some of the good times. And finally, after more than 3 to 4 years, this was 5 years or 6 years. I don't even know because I was a freshman. I told you, if you remember anything, I told you a story about a friend of mine who was killed by a drunk driver. This could have been over 5 years ago. Since that very day, I was not able to pay my respects to her until now, a few days ago. I've been feeling guilty of the fact that I was not there to mourn, to express what I truly felt. But when I walked up to that grave, in that graveyard, realizing that she wasn't even that far away to begin with. Just 10 or 15 minutes away from where I used to live, she was there. And catching up with family, and going down more memories. I even got to see my old choir teacher again. I got to see a class full of people, and all of this felt so emotional to me. And there was a lot more things that hit me very hard in the heart. Things that I can't find the right words to it. It's just so beautiful, sad, emotional, nostalgic at the same time that I can't find the correct words to sum up how much all that is. I got to sing one last time in that choir room in the high school. It was the one song, the last song, that I sang at all of my friends' graduation. And I have not seen that song in over 5 years. All this, I feel so happy. I never thought I would ever come back to that again. And to realize people still fucking care for me. They still remember me. I feel so happy. So happy right now, I'm crying again. It's fucking home. I'm just so happy that I got to do a lot that I wanted to do. Everything, with the exception of the footage I wanted to show you guys, but that can always come back for the next time I come back out. Another thing that was also emotional was the fact that my good buddy handed me one of these graduation pins, which was initialed LE because it was Little Elm, Texas. It was for those who had that graduation pin, and then, being though I never got to graduate from Little Elm, Texas, because I graduated in another state, but when he handed me that pin, I wanted to give the guy a fucking hug. I'm so glad I got to do a lot of things that I wanted to do. I accomplished everything on my list that I wanted to do, that I was able to do, that I had time for. With the exception of that one thing, but you know what? There's always time for that. I'm sure the next time I come out, I'm going to have a whole new set of things that I'm going to want to do and that I want to have accomplished. It's going to be a whole lot harder to do. It's going to be a whole lot harder to accomplish these things because I know there's some people that I just want to rekindle some things. People that I have hurt before. People that I have annoyed and pestilized, or if that's how a correct way you could say it. People that I have hurt so much, annoyed, or even so much that they don't want to be near me. This, to me, is a big change that I want in my life. Is to be able to reconnect those bridges. Throw away every grudge that I have. And just fix everything. And if I could just fix that now, if I can just get this and just tell the certain people that don't want to talk to me again, if I could tell them how sorry I am, how much of an idiot I was, how much I feel that I should fix things, because I know I've hurt someone, I know I've done all this, but I feel like if I could just find some sort of, a connection back to help, being friends with them again, or just forgiving and forgetting all that's happened. I'm pretty sure that would make me completely whole again. Because I'm a whole lot happier than I was before I came back here, because I always talked about Little Elm, Texas for a long time, and I was down in the depression zone. And believe me, I felt shattered and broken when I went back looking on memory lane. But ever since when I got all these things on my list and going down memory lane, I felt so much happier. I felt like there's like a burden that's been lifted off of me. But rest assured, my journey isn't over yet. It's not by a long shot. My journey with Little Elm is not over by a long shot. So if I could just find a way to communicate with the people that I've hurt and annoyed and just let these things, forgive and forget, I would be whole. I think the only part of me would just want to go back home and just live the life that I want. That's that's the only thing I'm asking for. It's just to be forgiven. And that's it. Everything else has been good. It's been great. But now the only thing I need left to do now is just try to find a way to talk to these guys. Certain people. And I know I had bitter rivalries and all that, but I'm going to cut this short. I'm so glad that I got to accomplish a lot. And I went on a journey like no other. I only wish my little brother was still around to see this, because I would hug him so much and tell him how much I love him. Same thing with a lot of people, and I got to run into my old video technology teacher. But anyways, I have to cut this short. Journey is not over. Not by a long shot. Catch you later.